November 7th, 2025. The Seoul Western District Court. In the fourth hearing of Source Music's 500 million won damages suit against Hee Jin, the label presented something nobody saw coming. Trainee contract videos, parent testimonies, internal Slack messages. Evidence they claim completely dismantles Min's narrative that she personally discovered and created NewJeans from scratch. For over a year, Min has built her reputation on one story. She found these girls, trained them, molded them into stars. But what if the receipts tell a completely different tale? Source Music came prepared. In one video submitted to the court, Heron's mother says something that cuts straight through Min's claims. It's amazing the Source Music casting manager came all the way to Anyang. Not minister, not some mystical creative genius. Source Music's casting team drove to Anyang, found Heron, and convinced her parents to let their daughter train. Another video shows Danielle's story, and it's even more revealing. She wasn't discovered by Min's supposed eye for talent. She was already training at another agency before a staff member transferred to Source Music and brought her along. In her trainee interview, Danielle's mom made her intentions clear about wanting flexibility if things didn't work out. This wasn't Min's grand artistic vision. This was Source Music systematically building a roster, one trainee at a time. The evidence kept coming. Minji? Already selected by Source Music before Min had any real authority over the project. Hee Jin? Her parents were personally persuaded by Source Music's then CEO, So Sung-jin, not by Min's creative pitch. Hani passed her audition during the 2019 Plus Global Auditions, but here's the detail that matters. Min wasn't even on the judging panel that selected her. Source Music's evaluation team made that call. Heron was streetcast in Anyang at the end of 2019 and officially joined the company in early 2020. All of this happened before Min had control over what would become NewJeans. The timeline doesn't support her story. When Min joined Hybe as Chief Brand Officer in July 2019, the casting process was already underway. By early 2020, these trainees were in the system, training under Source Music's program. Min didn't build NewJeans from nothing. She walked into a project that was already in motion. Then Source Music presented the messages that could change everything. A Slack conversation from July 8, 2021 between Min and then CEO Park Ji-won. The exact words submitted to the court. "I don't mind when Les Seraphim debuts. Just move NewJeans to the M label so they can debut as its first team." Read that line again. She said she didn't mind when Les Seraphim debuted. For months, Min has stood in front of cameras claiming Hybe betrayed her. That they promised NewJeans would debut first. That they stabbed her in the back by prioritizing Les Seraphim over her group. But her own words from 2021 tell a different story. She wanted NewJeans under her label. She wanted them to debut as the first M team. This wasn't Hybe breaking promises. This was her own plan. Source Music also submitted evidence of something even stranger. Conversations between Min and a shaman from August 12, 2021 about NewJeans' debut timing. According to the messages presented in court, Min told the shaman exactly what she wanted. "I wanted to go last." The protagonist comes last. So she told her CEO. She didn't mind Les Seraphim's timing. She told her shaman she wanted to debut last because that's what protagonists do. But she told the media, the fans, and the courts that Hybe betrayed her by debuting Les Seraphim first. Which version is true? Because they can't all be. The shaman controversy isn't new. Hybe revealed earlier in 2024 that Min had extensive consultations with this person on major business decisions, not just casual friendship chats. Strategic planning sessions about which trainees to select, whether members would obey her, even evaluating job applicants for ADOR. This wasn't spiritual guidance for personal issues. This was using supernatural advice to make corporate decisions that affected careers, investments, and company strategy. When the scandal first broke, Min tried to downplay it during a press conference. "She is my friend. Can I not have a shaman friend? I had to get therapy because of Hybe." But there's a massive difference between having a friend who happens to be a shaman and consulting that friend on every critical business move while giving them access to confidential company information. Source Music also addressed something that's been damaging Le Seraphim's reputation since this whole situation exploded. According to their court argument, Min publicly called them thugs who sold trainees. She made these remarks knowing exactly how they'd be received, knowing it would make Source Music look exploitative and untrustworthy. The label argued this damaged their reputation and undermined trust with current and future trainees and their families. Building idols from the ground up requires years of investment in housing, training, education, and development. Min's comments attacked the foundation of that trust. But here's where it gets ironic. Min is currently suing netizens who use similar language about her. She's pursuing legal action against people online for calling her things like thug. When she uses that language against Source Music, it's justified criticism. When others use it about her, it's defamation worth suing over. Min's legal team is fighting back with a specific argument. They're drawing a distinction between selecting and casting. Sure, Source Music may have found the trainees and signed them, but Min chose which ones made the final NewJeans lineup. She assigned their roles. She created their concept and visual identity. She gave them their unique sound. Without her artistic direction, they'd just be another girl group in a crowded market. Her lawyers claim Hybe made promises back in 2019 that NewJeans would be the company's first girl group debut and that Min would have creative control and priority. Then, according to her side, Hybe broke those promises by pushing Le Seraphim's debut ahead. Min's team also argues that parents complained to her about neglect from Source Music, that the trainees weren't being properly managed or cared for, that she had to step in and protect them from an incompetent system. It's a narrative that paints her as the hero who saved these girls. This case isn't happening in isolation. BELIFT LAB filed a separate $2 billion lawsuit against Min over her repeated public claims that ILIT plagiarized NewJeans. For months, Min held press conferences and released statements accusing ILIT of copying everything from hairstyles to choreography to concept. She turned her fan base against another rookie group that had nothing to do with the Hybe-Adore internal conflict. BELIFT LAB's suit isn't just about defamation. It's about the real damage those accusations did to young artists who were just trying to debut and build their own careers. Meanwhile, NewJeans themselves lost a major legal battle. On October 30th, 2025, the Seoul Central District Court ruled that the members' contracts with ADOR remain valid. The members had argued their contracts should be nullified because of a management vacuum after Min was removed as CEO. The court rejected that argument. ADOR remained operational. The contracts were legally binding. The members tried rebranding as NJZ and operating independently, but later court rulings upheld ADOR's injunctions, blocking those independent activities without the company's consent. They're still legally bound to ADOR, still part of the Hybe system, still unable to break free the way they probably hoped. Further hearings are scheduled, and more evidence will likely surface. More testimonies will be heard. More private messages might get leaked. But after November 7th, 2025, the narrative has fundamentally shifted. Min's public story has serious holes. Her timeline doesn't match the documented evidence. Her public claims directly contradict her private messages from 2021. What looked like righteous anger over broken promises now looks more like calculated narrative building. And Source Music showed up with the proof to back up their side. Maybe everyone involved played a role that genuinely mattered. But as long as lawsuits keep flying and millions of won are being demanded in damages, nobody's interested in nuanced answers. Everyone wants to be the hero of their own story, even if that means rewriting history to make it true.